Hi, I'm Rob from Projector Central, and I'm excited to share our review of the LG Electronics HU810PW and AU810PB laser projectors. Stay right there. So this new projector from LG is the first really affordable 4K laser projector for serious darkroom home theater. It comes in two versions. The black AU810 is targeted for installers and costs $3,999. It has a few extras I'll talk about. The white HU810 with identical performance is targeted at consumers, and it goes for just $29.99. My review sample was an AU810, but my comments mostly apply to both models. Now, the main differences between these two projectors won't come into play for most people. That means a lot of folks can save $1,000 and get the HU810, which I think is an awesome value at its $29.99 list price. The extra $1,000 you'll spend on the AU810 first gets you some control options that integrators may care about. These include network control via Ethernet, an RS-232 serial port, and a 12-volt trigger output. LG also puts an extra year on the warranty, which is 2 years versus 1 on the HU810. But there are two big extras you're paying for with the AU810, both of which have appeared before in LG's TVs. The first is compatibility with WiSA Wireless Audio. WiSA stands for Wireless Speaker and Audio Association, which a bunch of manufacturers participate in. The WiSA standard lets you send high-resolution multi-channel audio across your room with a rock-solid signal connection. If you attach a third-party transmitter to the AU810's USB port, you can use the projector's menu to set up a 5.1-channel home theater that's controlled entirely from the projector's remote. Now, you'll still need to buy powered WiSA speakers, such as those sold by Klipsch and others. Of course, if you use a soundbar or wired AV receiver, you can skip this. The second big feature is AutoCal by Calman. To use it, you'll need to buy Calman Home software from Portrait Displays for $145. You'll also need a color meter, which will run you at least another $250, and a pattern generator that will run you at least a few $100 more. While Calman's AutoCal does have the potential to deliver better results than a manual calibration, the cost of the software and equipment exceeds what it would cost to have a calibrator come in and run the process for you. And the AU810 and HU810 come out of the factory looking very good to start with, so I'm not sure this feature alone justifies the upgrade. Now, before we get into more about the features on both LG 810 models, I'd like to take a minute to thank Elite Screens for sponsoring this video and supplying us with some great screens for our test lab. I've been a fan of Elite going back years to my days as a reviewer and editor at some of the biggest AV magazines. Their screens are usually very affordable, and our tests have always shown them to perform like more expensive screens. We've got two 110-inch screens on hand today. Elite's CineWhite UHD-B material is a matte white, ISF certified reference that's a great choice for attaining color accuracy in a dark theater. Its 1.3 gain provides a little extra punch for HDR or for viewing in moderate light. The CineGray 3D is a cost-effective ambient light rejecting screen with a 1.2 gain that's also ISF certified. It's a good option if you plan on binge watching, viewing sports, or playing games with some lights on. The gray material and light rejecting layers really help with black leveling contrast. Both of our screens feature Elite's edge-free AEON frame with a super thin bezel. Now, getting back to the LG HU and AU810, the biggest draw with this projector is its laser light engine with 2700 ANSI lumens of brightness. It's rated for 20,000 hours of life and never needs maintenance or lamp replacements. It has a 0.47-inch DLP XPR imaging chip that delivers full 3840 by 2160 resolution for 4K content. The laser engine uses two lasers, one red and one blue, to deliver wider color gamut than you get on models with a single blue laser. The HU810 is rated for an impressive 97% DCI P3 gamut, which was confirmed by Projector Central's measurements. And the design of the laser engine also greatly reduces the chance of rainbow artifacts. I barely saw any during my time with the projector. Along with its wide gamut, the 810 handles just about any kind of HDR. That includes HDR10, HLG, and even the dedicated HGIG format found on some video games. And it is one of the very few projectors on the market today with frame-by-frame dynamic tone mapping, which I'll talk more about later. Unfortunately, while the projector is well equipped for HDR, one thing it can't handle is 1080p full 3D movies. That's a disappointment considering how bright and punchy this projector is. Another big plus in the A10 is LG's WebOS streaming platform. This is borrowed from LG's panel TVs and also appears in some other LG projectors. It's attractive and easy to use, but unfortunately, this version is missing apps for some major streaming services. Amazon Prime is available, but there was still no Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, or HBO Max when this video was made about a month after the Projector's release. Still, WebOS is a pleasure to use and supports voice search using Google Assistant or Alexa through a microphone on the remote. And speaking of the remote, it's a version of LG's Magic Remote, which uses a combination of keypad and air mouse to navigate menus and apps. It has a backlight that turns on from motion and dedicated buttons for Amazon Prime and a useful submenu for some key picture settings. Setup on this projector is pretty straightforward. It's fairly compact, and it supports a shelf or inverted ceiling mount for front or rear projection. There are levers on the shaft for manual focus and a 1.6x optical zoom lens. Concentric wheels on the side panel are used for adjusting vertical and horizontal lens shift. The projector throws a 100-inch image from anywhere from about 9.5 to 15 feet. You can check out our review on ProjectorCentral.com or follow the link in the description below to view our calculator and see the throw distances for different image sizes. I should point out that, as we've seen in the past with some other projectors, the A10's lens casts some light spill in front of the projector that will be visible on the ceiling with an inverted mount. This shouldn't really be there in an otherwise well-designed projector, but if it's bothersome, you could easily mask a portion of the lens opening to eliminate it without affecting the on-screen image. Connections on both projector models include 3 HDMI inputs, a pair of USB-A ports that can play media from a thumb drive, an optical audio output, and a LAN port for optional wired Ethernet. The HU810 additionally has the previously mentioned RS-232 port and 12-volt trigger, and its LAN port can also be used for network control. The 3 HDMI ports include one that's version 2.1, making this the first projector we've seen with this newer wider bandwidth connection. But before you gamers start celebrating, it tops out at 24 gigabits per second, so it can't play 4K games at 120 Hz from the new consoles. That requires at least 32 gigabits per second. However, this connection does support eARC, which allows you to hook up a Dolby Atmos soundbar or feed Atmos back to your AV receiver from the streaming platform or other connected sources. As a bonus, these LG projectors also support Bluetooth output to a soundbar or headphones, and they include a lip sync control to address any latency issues. Finally, there is also a pair of 5-watt utility speakers built into the projector, but you'll want to pass on those and connect to a real audio system. So the good news for serious videophiles is that the A10 has a really wide range of picture modes and adjustments, and while there's plenty you can do to tune up the image, several of the modes look really good right out of the box. For viewing 1080p content like Blu-ray movies and TV shows with the lights off, I settled on the Expert Dark Room mode. The LG has an adaptive contrast feature that optimizes contrast, but it also has a fixed mechanical iris that lets you set the overall brightness for each picture mode to match your taste or accommodate different lighting conditions. The color accuracy in Expert Darkroom looked and measured very good, and going up a few clicks on the iris control made it bright enough for punchy, satisfying images. Subtle differences in skin tones were nicely delineated, and memory colors like foliage and skies looked natural. Another potential caveat I should point out is that I did observe some laser speckle with the A10. Speckle is a fine grain-like artifact, kind of like a haze, that sits on top of some object of certain colors. It's a well-known effect that's caused by the laser light being scattered randomly by the textured screen surface. It was primarily visible here in bright, solid red objects. Now, just like the rainbow artifacts you get with some projectors, it's more bothersome to some people. But it'll also be detectable to different degrees on different screen materials and with different content, and it's harder to see in moving objects. You can read more about this in our full review on Projector Central. It was subtle enough in my editions that I didn't even notice it until I saw web posts from some A10 users complaining about speckle with some screen materials. You should be aware of it and know that your choice of screen and viewing distance can have an effect on its visibility. Moving on, the A10 has plenty of brightness for watching in ambient light, and for that I chose the Expert Bright Room Viewing mode. Like the Expert Dark mode, colors were subjectively natural and accurate. And even with that mode using only about 1400 lumens of the projector's output, it still held up pretty well on my 92-inch matte white screen. The larger 110-inch screens in our lab benefited from opening up the iris even further. And the CineGray 3D ALR screen, with its 1.2 gain and light-rejecting gray surface, looked even better. For larger screens or brighter conditions, the default standard mode sacrifices some color accuracy but comes in with nearly 1900 lumens of light. You can see the measured lumen output for all the SDR and HDR picture modes in our review on Projector Central. But no matter which screen I used, it was obvious that this projector has more than enough firepower and adjustability to function in either dark or bright environments. Now, watching HDR turned out to be the surprise highlight of my time with the A10. I ended up using the HDR Cinema Home Picture mode with the iris cranked wide open. The projector's dynamic tone mapping works really well, and the best part is that it saves you from having to constantly tweak the HDR brightness control found on most projectors to account for differences among movie titles. Even though LG provides no trim adjustments for this feature, most of the time it delivered images that were even better than I got from the excellent Epson 5050UB I directly compared it with for my review on Projector Central. The LG did a great job of punching up the highlights for real visceral impact, while also better preserving contrast just outside of those bright areas and delivering better contrast overall. It gave HDR images noticeable extra pop and dimensionality. About the only thing I could complain about with the LG's image is the same thing I usually complain about and the one thing most projectors struggle with, and that's black level and contrast with dark movies. This is one area where the Epson 5050UB and my reference JVC projector really excelled, but those projectors are known for their deep blacks. Overall contrast on the LG was excellent on scenes that mixed bright and dark objects, but on my challenging torture chest scenes with very low average light and barely brighter highlights, the A10 wasn't able to pull the highlights and shadow details out of the haze in the same way. Still, these scenes weren't unwatchable by any means, and everything else the A10 brings to the table picture-wise and feature-wise at this price more than makes up for this weakness. Now, before wrapping up, I should talk a little bit about gaming on the A10. The projector has a game picture mode that cuts input lag to better than half of what you get in its other modes. But even so, the best reading I got in game mode was 43 milliseconds with a 4K 60Hz signal. That's slow enough for casual gaming, but too slow for serious competition. Nonetheless, the bright laser engine and saturated colors make games look awesome, even in a bright room, so gaming on this projector is a real pleasure. So to sum it up, the LG HU810PW and AU810PB laser projectors deliver an impressive level of picture quality, including some of the best HDR I've seen, at a price that hasn't been offered before in a solid-state projector that needs no lamp replacements. The HU810 in particular, at under $3,000, is a superb value, and it easily earned our Rare Editor's Choice Award. And that's it for our video review. Be sure to use the link below to visit our full review at projectorcentral.com to get more details, including our measurements. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and hit the thumbs up icon, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching.